living just enough, living just for the city.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to New Jack City. Today we're going to be talking about Dababy. Now, this is going to seem like very old news, but the reason why I haven't talked about it is because I wanted to see how things was going to transpire. I wanted to see how I felt, and I already made a video about it, not really knowing the context of what he said. Knowing the context of what he said, but listening to outside sources give me feedback and have me use having used their feedback direct my judgment to how I feel about Dababy. But when I when I silenced the outside sources and I just looked at it in its entirety of what it is, I came to my own conclusion. And having that being said, I rock with Dababy. Dababy did absolutely nothing wrong. I'm going to repeat what he said, right? So for people who don't know, he was at a concert. And when he was at a concert, he was like doing the chant and stuff like that. If anyone has ever been to any type of rap concert, even a club appearance from a rapper when they're performing, they do this all the time. They be like, throw your hands in the air if you got $100 bill. Yeah. Throw your hands up in the air. Or they be like, make some noise if you're not on child support and stuff like that, right? They do the little chants. That's what rappers do. I mean, it's been going on through the history of rap. They've always had chants like that, right? So when Dababy was performing, he made a chant like that, right? His chant was, make some noise if you're not HIV positive, if you don't have HIV, AIDS, and any sexually transmitted disease. Now, having that being said, people was making noise, people wasn't making noise and stuff like that. Then he also said, make some noise if you wasn't sucking dick in the parking lot, right? And he was talking about a man too. Now, here's the thing. When he said that, and I just repeated what he said, right? He said, make some noise if you don't have any HIV, AIDS, or any other STD, or any sexually transmitted disease. Nothing about that was about LGBTQIA, right? But the media and these other bloggers tried to form it that way. They tried to twist the narrative of saying, oh, he's talking about LGBTQIA. Like LGBTQIA is the only people that can get HIVs and AIDS. Now, having that being said, I'm gonna say that what Dababy said was a little bit. It was a little bit. I'm not gonna call it ignorant, because it was ignorant, but I'm not gonna call it ignorant because it sounds like a bad word. What I'm gonna say was he was a little misinformed and uneducated, right? Because you can not only get HIVs and AIDS only from it's not only sexually transmitted, right? So you can get it from a needle. You can be born with it, right? So there's other levels of. If someone has HIV, right, and they use a needle, and let's say they're doing drugs or something like that, right, and then they use that same someone else used that same needle, and they don't clean the needle, and they put it in their arms, and now that person has HIV, has AIDS, sexually transmitted. It's not sexually transmitted, right? Also, you can be born with HIVs and AIDS if someone already has it, if the mother already has it, and the baby's in her room, he can be born with HIVs and AIDS. So it's not only sexually transmitted, but that's usually the most common known, right? So it's not his fault for not knowing that, but obviously, again, he's making a chant. He's a rapper, and on top of that, he doesn't really need to be educated in this because that's not his field. But, so I'm gonna give him the L on that. But when it comes to the media, them trying to twist it into saying that this is a LGBTQIA situation and that he was talking about LGBTQIA, not one time did he ever say anything about that when he was making those chants, right? So not only are you reaching, but you're actually lying. And if I was Dababy, I would sue them for defamation, because at the end of the day, I've never mentioned LGBTQIA. I said make some noise if you're not HIV or AIDS positive, if any sexually transmitted disease. You also can get that sexually transmitted disease not by having gay sex. If a woman has it and a man has it and they have sex together, you have HIVs and AIDS. So the media, I mean, I know they're educated, but they just try to flip something. But I mean, honestly, if I was Dababy, I would legally go after them, because you're making defamation of character, and he's losing business, which I'll make another video about in the future. But that's one thing, right? And the reason why I can respect Dababy versus all these other rappers is he truly don't give a fuck. Not only did he not really apologize, not only did he not apologize, but he doubled down on what he said. Cause he's like, bro, I'm not scared of anything what y'all doing. And obviously, you know, he's really from the street, so he's not really like, he not into the, you know, the politics of music and stuff like that. He's not going to conform and be like, oh yeah, I want to do a public apology like these other rappers and stuff like that. As soon as they get into some heat, and as soon as they get into some, you know, some real, like, you know, hot water, they'll back off, they'll apologize, go on an apology tour. Snoop Dogg did it, and you know, he's a legend, but still, they go on an apology tour and all that shit, right? Dababy said, fuck all of that. I don't care about none of that. I don't care if you taking me off of concerts or anything like that. I'm going to double down on what I said. And that's something I can respect. Because at the end of the day, if you said something wrong, then yeah, go out and apologize. Now, yes, he did say something wrong when it comes to the sexually transmitted disease, because it's not only sexually transmitted, but at the end of the day, y'all know what he meant. And on top of that, it's not really, you know, it's a gray area when it comes to that. When he said that, again, he's making a chant, and that is one way to where you can get that disease, but that's not the only way. But again, he's not going to be like, oh yeah, you know, explain that whole situation off a chant. No one's doing all that. Like, no, calm down. So I totally understand what he was doing, totally understand where he was coming from, and yeah, I respect that he's doubling down on that, because not a lot of rappers are doing that. I mean, I feel like, honestly, if we can go back in time, I don't think anybody like really like, I feel like the only person that was close to that was Tupac, because Tupac, and I'm not comparing Dababy to Tupac, because they're totally different, but I'm just saying, like, if I can go back in time in history and see a person who said something and double down on what they said, I would say it was Tupac. And even with Tupac, he did apologize with that whole Quincy Jones things. But yeah, Tupac was really reckless at the mouth. I ain't gonna lie. Tupac would say whatever he needs to say and whatever. Oh, he also did that when that woman was on the court and talking about gangster rap and stuff like that, and how it's a menace to how it's doing harm for the black community. And Tupac was he was in the forefront talking about that bitch don't know what she's talking about and all this other shit. So you gotta respect it. It's real niggas. Gotta respect it. But having that being said, how do y'all feel about the Dababy situation? I'm on his side. I'm pro Dababy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pro Dababy. So how do y'all feel about the situation? Leave in the comment section. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel. All right, I will see y'all next time. All right.
Living just another